in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over. Before you know it, we're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
So we're back after a short break, guys, to 2018 LVL Spring Term. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Atlas, your shoutcasters entering match 7, DLSU versus FIT Itamaraos.
Definitely, and this is gonna be DLSU's third game today, I believe. So, man, this gotta be tiring. But we always point out it doesn't seem like DLSU is phased at all. And looking at FIT, they've had a pretty good run so far. Looking at our standings, it seems like they're pretty close in the standings. FIT has only played one game over DLSU. They have the same wins. Will DLSU get ahead of them here?
It's the middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack here. These three, Adamson, DLSU, and FIT, and they really want to get ahead, as far ahead as they can as possible.
But now to our returning viewers here, thank you so much for tuning in. But what happened in our previous match of UST versus FIT was UST still remains undefeated. So that was our short recap of what happened if you guys are just tuning in. So we welcome you to our stream as we are now holding going into the drafting phase for DLSU Veritas Arcus on the blue side versus FIT Itamaraos on the red side.
It's pretty much a fight of seeing which shade of green is better. But DLSU, they ban out some key champions here, Corky, Gangplank, as well as Trundle. As for FIT, focusing a lot on the same lanes and roles as DLSU, as the Graves, Singe, and the Tali are banned out. DLSU prioritizing the Kaisa here.
Being left open here, that's sometimes a mistake we can expect. But maybe FIT are willing to trade it off with Ezreal. We don't know just yet. But for DLSU, picking up the Kaisa, but FIT will take away the Karma and the Skarner from DLSU.
I like this so far from FIT. That is the Karma and the Skarner. Gotta go fast there and lock down possibly Comte. If they lock in Karna's Irelia here, this could actually be a flex. Could go mid, could go top, and so can the Morgana. The Morgana can either go in the mid lane or as a support in the bot side. So DLSU not giving out too much information. FIT, they really want to go fast here. They really want to just go run down DLSU, locking in the Sivir here. As for their second rotation of bans, FIT locking away Lee Sin and Nocturne. They really don't want Esper to mess with their plans. As for DLSU, smart ban here. I love the Kled and the Vladimir ban. FIT already wants to go all in really fast, and Kled, banning out Kled and Vladimir just really puts them with worse options in other lanes.
A lot of personalized bans onto DLSU and FIT, so we're seeing the Sivir in the bot lane. So in a way, you have more range than the Kaisa. You have free poke, you can clear faster. So maybe FIT, they're playing the push game here, as we're also seeing the Cho'Gath, but the Wukong. But before I go to that, it's the Sejuani in the jungle side.
Might not be the Wukong here. It's not as coherent to the rest of the composition here, but the Gnar is going to be picked and a lot more versatile than Wukong is.
Definitely. So even if I love the champion, I know that he does not belong in the top lane because
it's not a monkey's natural habitat. You would know. As for FIT, going for the Swain
belongs in the
here.
jungle. Belongs in the jungle. Yung ganun ba? Is that what you mean? You lovely little guy. So we're seeing right now for FIT finalizing their picks here with the Cho'Gath in the top lane and Skarner and a Swain for their last picks here. So
I like this a lot from Seth here, picking up the Swain as pretty much a kind of an alternative to that Vladimir. It's still a lot of AoE damage, a lot of lane dominance, and sustain as well, and really appreciates all the speed ups that FIT's team can bring them. As for DLSU, It seems like their composition here is a little bit well-rounded. They have a lot of damage. They have a lot of scaling as well from Spring and Comte. They have proper CC from Ventus, Espera, and Karna. But really, Itamaraos, they have so much potential to run down Viridis Arcus. If they can get onto Comte and none of the frontliners for DLSU can stop them, it's going to be a big problem.
So now we are now loaded onto the Rift here. Match 7, DLSU Viridis Arcus on the blue side versus FIT Itamaraos on the red side. So for the viewers just tuning in, guys, you can see on your screens here the players, their bands, or rather their picks, moving on to our match 7.
And seems like this is a crucial match for both of these teams, rather.
One more week till playoffs, because one more week of group stages remain.
After this, it's going to be real crunch time for these teams, especially the ones in the middle of the pack, the ones with around 4 wins, 5 wins. They really want to get ahead of the competition here. And every loss puts someone that was previously in the same rank as them ahead. So it's like you're losing 2 spots in the top 6. So you have to be very careful. And FIT, they get some basic information around their entrances, but they don't want to risk anything too hard. So does DLSU.
And we know that for some viewers here, I mean, if you guys are not that familiar with our format, note that we will only have top 6 teams moving on to the playoff stages. So top 2 will actually be seeded through, but meanwhile, we will see how this will play out first to determine who will move on, because top 2 is the spot you want to be, and top 6 is a guaranteed spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's going to be really tough. So these teams, they want to be as ahead as possible.
Oh, this is going to be a tricky lane for bot lane. Karma and Severe, a heavy poke.
Yeah, not just poke, but the wave clear that they have here, Rindo and Neil, they can really push DLSU in, have that priority, have control over that bot lane.
Ooh, look at that mobility. Look at that disgusting mobility. Oh my god! First blood going on to the Aurelia with a trade up there going to Sith for Spring. So instead, Spring is happy with the first blood, but you did see Young. Wow, that mobility.
Yeah.
Landing the stun, gets the mark, refresh the cooldown.
Just keep going for that over and over. I love the aggression from Spring. It was a 1-for-1 trade, so it's not as valuable as other kills would be, but he does get the first blood gold. That's 100 over set, but he still needs to be very careful around that. Seems like Dre, look at him in the minimap, is stealing away some camps from Espera here. Really wants to get as many resources as he can on this side of the map.
But we also know for a fact that it all comes down to... Wait a minute.
Ooh, they want to take down Spring.
Flash is not available for this Aurelia.
If he gets snared here by Seth.
Never move. Here it comes. Slow. Does dodge it. Does connect the stun onto the Skarner. Where is the bind? Here it comes. Gets connected by the swipe. Pulls him towards Seth. And now here it is. Spring trying to get away with the mobility there. Gets the resist from the mark. But in the end, looks like Dre will be the one to pick up that sweet kill.
Trying to go for a little bit of happy feet action there. But unfortunately for Spring, that was a good rotation here coming from Dre. He knew that Spring probably wasn't expecting him to attack from that angle. So getting there. Man, and I love how Seth baited him into that side of the lane, so he was able to get a much easier pincer from his jungler.
Vision of the Empire was what he needed to try and position himself where the never move would connect. So that's the game for FIT, controlling how they move.
Gonna be quite tough here for DLSU with 2 deaths in the mid lane. This is gonna be a lot harder here for Spring, especially if Seth can constantly bring in the poke, have that sustain, and then fight back with Death's Hand and his other attacks here.
Let's see though, because first blood did go towards Spring side, but that's immediately gone. The 100 small lead, it's nothing. I mean, look at the Swain, 18 CS, 1 assist, and with the first item, the Catalyst, so he will be staying in lane.
Esper is a lot more challenged here. He needs to get some early ganks, early pressure for his lanes. And that's really what Spring and Comte would want. Dre really dominating the vision game around this side of the river. He really wants to go for Spring, help out Seth. Because if Seth gets ahead, Spring is going to have a much harder time. And if Seth gets him... he's going to go here along with Neil.
Stun that's connected to the Skarner. Here goes Flash in. Getting the tether, getting the bind, getting the pull towards his way. Here it comes. Again, getting ganked for the members of FIT. Tamaralis looks like Dre will be picking up his second kill and killing Spring for the second time in the mid lane.
Oh, man, that is just tough for Spring here. They're going to try and go for Arfing.
Knockup does connect towards this is Joani. Arfing trying to back away, does flash away from the last blow, but in again, that's going to be a flash in from the Sejuani with the Arctic Assault for the knockup there with Sparrow getting the kill.
That is really what they could do in top side there. But really, with the priority on that top side, with a fortune on that gank, it seems like it does favor Seth a little bit more, even with that good gank on the top side. Dre and Seth, they are satisfied with keeping Spring very weak in this early game and having Seth become ahead. And Dre, he gets a small boost in his progress towards level 6.
And he does have the catalyst we can build towards maybe the road if he wants to. But yeah, things are looking pretty good for the early phases of FIT. So for just people, for the stream, for rather the viewers, the summoners just tuning in right now, note that the first blood did go to Spring. But in the end, a series of events happened, guys. 2 ganks happening toward the mid lane. That's why you guys can see here on Spring's KD, it's 1-3. And as Atlas and I said, that's a good start for FIT.
Definitely, Dre. He can go for more pressure with a small lead that he has. He's going to reach level 6 before Espera, most likely, after he gets his buy, so he has to be careful. Espera on the top side, he wants to make something happen here for Karna, but he's really pushed in.
Look at Espera waiting on the brush.
It's going to be very risky to dive Arfing since he has a huge burst of true damage.
And mobility too. Here he comes. Does he have the flash? No, cooldown there. Here comes. Oh, good not. Knock him dead. There we go. Looks like that stun didn't connect. But that's all they need. A 2-man lockup happening for Arfing. He does get the permafrost stack. Here comes the Scar. Can he do something here? 1-man kill. Flash in from Dre. Will secure that Gnar. But in the end, looks like that's what they want. Debate happening for FIT. A double kill happening to Stray.
Man, they really tried and forced that, but Arfing has the Ninja Top. He has a little bit of tankiness on his side. And DLSU took a few turret shots, which led to that kill. So much damage. And once Karna became Mini Gnar again, he lost all of those bonus stats. And Gnar has naturally low base stats all across the board in AD, in HP, in armor, magic resist. So that just made sure for FIT that once Mini Gnar came and once Dre went into the fray, it was just over for DLSU. Esper doesn't have enough damage to finish off both of them.
Yes, especially the same goes for Karna, because as I said, it's all about timing for them. As soon as he was small and weak, FIT just turned the tables here. I mean, extended team fights, Virtus Archers, it's all about timing here.
As for FIT, they're doing pretty well. This is just how they want to play this. Just want to go in.
Predator being stacked here. Impale does pull him back towards the wall. Arctic Assault was used to try and escape. In the end, Neil will be wrapping up that kill. No jungler to the side of DLSU. Looks like for FIT will take away the first drink of the game. Ocean Drake uncontested.
They're going to be swimming in regeneration here, and it's going to help them out even more. Even though it might not be their ideal Drake, they would appreciate like a Cloud Drake or an Infernal Drake, but this is still very good for FIT. The added sustain here will be very helpful to Seth and Arfing, and I like how FIT is playing to their win conditions in this game. They make sure that their biggest strength is when they have their ultimates, when they have their mobility, they can go straight for vulnerable mispositioned targets in DLSU. And here Dre, can he get the steal? Esper doesn't have a vision just yet.
Oh, looks like he will not get a steal. That's the one to take away the red buff. There it comes. Dark Ascension, and let's see the damage. Oh yeah, Rindo gets the kill to Esper. Bangers over that wall, and that's going to be DLSU going in hard with Spring leading the charge and taking down for the lockdown with the resets happening for the Aurelia. That is a double kill.
Man, that was a chance for FIT to just get way ahead. But here DLSU comes back with a vengeance. Double kill here for Spring. That puts him pretty much in better ground than Seth. And even though Dre had those early kills, let's break that down. As they get onto this fight here, they try and force it really hard on Esper. They can go for it. But in this spot, this is such a good place for Spring to get that Vanguard's edge, and with the blast cone separating them, that was just way more space here for Spring to dance around. So that was very good on DLSU to respond to that quickly and pretty much equalizes the lead that FIT had.
And we did talk about playing with their ultimate. So at that point of the game, guys, summoners watching, that is where FIT used everything. So they couldn't really respond, and landing that beautiful 3-man Vanguard's Edge, closing the gap. That's what FIT didn't expect, and DLSU bouncing it off with a 5 to 7 kill score.
Just the 300 gold, but dividing them is absolutely nothing here. DLSU, the important thing here is Spring has accelerated his power spike. He is like, what, 600 gold closer to his Triforce, and that is so important to a champion like Irelia said.
Oh, stun connects to the swing, getting bursted down by Irelia. Does get the Shilling Smite and the crystallized there for Irelia. Does get the escape thanks to the mobility. Teleport will signal them to go back. Can they go for more? I don't think so. Under tower, looks like Viridius Arcus will safely disengage.
Unfortunate for Spring there was a minion wave. He could Blade Surge towards them. And it seems like they escaped certain death there because that was teleport come from Arfing. He does cancel it, and that is a resource burned by FIT that DLSU can possibly exploit once Karna's teleport is up.
And now we're seeing the fact that DLSU, they're getting aggressive because they know that Spring is 3-3-1 from the previous bad score he had, thanks to the clash that happened in the red side. So they're feeling more confident, they're feeling more initiative to try and start fights for themselves to get that good lead. But summoners, we are seeing the next trick of the game, the Infernal Drake.
Yep, and that is going to be something that FIT wants. Having that sheer damage in this rundown comp that just wants to mow you over, the Infernal Drake would really help them out. Just add in a little bit more damage, have that buster damage that they have over there.
I think picking up the Raptor's Cloak. I wonder what he's going for there, because normally we would see an insta-rush towards the Raptor's Glory, and already we're seeing Karna getting the Black Cleaver finish on his Gnar.
Oh, going for the banner of the command here. A little bit of AP, a little bit of...
Is that okay? Because Gnar deals primary AD, so I wonder if it's a worthy investment for the Cho'Gath.
We're going to have to see. Dre wants to go for something with his Predator.
Going in for the Morgana. Perhaps here comes on the hunt. Speed boost did happen for FIT.
They burned both of those mobility and engage skills.
And now it could be a pickup for Viridius Arcus if they could land a Dark Bind, and that could signal the Sejuani to go in with a Glacial Prison. But FIT realize it. They see the Sejuani. They're slowly backing off.
Yeah, they get out of dodge. They're possibly dodging a bullet. Seems like they're just going to back off, continue pressuring DLSU, though always wave clearing, always making sure that Comte and Ventus are always pressured. They don't have breathing room. And just so if there's like a dragon fight Infernal's coming up or a fight near the jungle, FIT can better respond to it.
But with Arfring finishing up the Banner of Command, he can't really use it in the top lane. It's just a bit of a waste here as the Herald is dancing for attention. Tells him, take me right now. Make something happen in front of me.
We're going to have to see how Arfing uses his Banner of Command. Maybe if Karna goes in response to a fight, he pops that and gets a really good push on the top side. Or if Arfing teleports bot side and he goes for a good push like a 4-man dive with his bot lane and jungler, maybe that's something they can do.
Oh dear, they have vision on the blue side. They're going for the invade. Dre does manage to signal it out, and he does go with a flash in the pale. Brings in the gift and gives it, tries to give it towards the Swain, but in the end, Arfing will be the one to secure the kill for himself with the blue bomb.
FIT still very aggressive. They know the moves of DLSU and they're acting proactively to try and prevent them from getting resources. This is really good so far from FIT. They could get the first turret of the game here from Comte. Yeah, definitely getting that. Rendo, huge boost in gold. That's going to be much appreciated. Meanwhile, topside, X-Ray and Arfing, they want to get another turret yet again for just more global gold. And look at that set. Because of the pressure that they've accumulated. Oh, it could be dangerous though.
Ascension looks like the train will be locked down there. Goes Golden with the stasis and still locked down by the Morgana and Spring going on to him. Teleport is coming in. When he survive, he does flash away, gets the death touch, and here comes the response from the Cho'Gath. Knockup is all he needs here. He has the feast, but in the end, that's a response for the Sejuani to block him off. Knocks the Sejuani. Here comes Dre with a Scar, and that's the kill. Prison was used to try and stop Dre, but in the end, nothing works out for Viridius Arcus. FIT with a superior response.
Definitely, FIT could potentially get another turret here. And this is the result of so much pressure. The early aggression that Seth and Dre had against Spring, the constant pressure that Arfing brings on the top side, as well as Rindo and Neil constantly wave clearing on the bot side, has resulted in a lot of the outer turrets of DLSU being very, very low and in a position ripe for the picking for FIT. And look at that, because of the pressure, they have control over this Dragon kill.
The uncontested here, safe to say, second Drake of the game, the Inferno Drake, going towards FIT iTimerhouse, whereas DLSU Veritas Arcus does not have any turrets and no Drakes on their hand. Things are looking good for iTimerhouse.
It's really tough here for DLSU. Just 3,000 gold behind. It's not phenomenal of a lead, but it's still a lead combined with the 2 Drakes for FIT. And they are just in a position to keep going forward. Just start their engines, roll over DLSU. If DLSU doesn't respond right and dodge the bullet when FIT pulls the trigger, it's going to be big trouble for Comte and Spring.
Yes, because for VA, they are feeling confident with the leads with Spring. Getting the 3 to 4 KDA, it's okay. But they also need to play around their cooldowns and timing, because let's face it, if Karna does respond in Mininar farm, what can he do? But for FIT iTimerhouse, they're always ready on the switch here.
Just need just one attack away. Rindo really wants to harvest that gold on that turret, while Conte wants to keep them from getting it as late as possible. Unfortunately, caster minions still take it out.
Alright, looking at the turret score now, 0 to 3. iTimerhouse taking control all the outer turrets. Now they're eyeing for the Herald.
Herald could be an important fight.
Speed up. Inspire, Righteous Glory gets stopped by the prison. So much for mobility there. One single shot there stops the Skarner in his tracks.
This could possibly stop DLSU from even contesting this Rift Herald here without a long-range initiation for Esper. The rest of FIT can still respond to them in turn. They don't have their big mobility, but they're really trying to go for Spring here.
Two-man stun connected by Spring does back away from the fight. The root did connect towards the Sivir, attacking some shots from the Herald. Esper, no more prison. Comte and Ventus going in here. Two-man Artisan and the Vanguard takes 4 members locked down by Spring, getting the resets there. One more hit from Comte takes him out. Spring now going on to the Karma, but Comte will be the one to pick that up, and Dre will be his next target. Pumps the passive and flashing onto the tower. That gives him that triple kill.
That is going to be huge wave in the mid lane for them to follow up with that. Almost ace with a lot of turret gold. This should equalize the gold a little bit in terms of how much wealth they have, but of course DLSU, they want more. They want to equalize that goal. However, bot side, Arfing still going strong, going for that push. Ventus is going to try and respond to that. He should get here in time before the turret gets any serious damage, but let's break down that fight here. It seems like they have a pretty good pincer here. They can attack from 3 directions, Esper, Ventus, and Conte, but with Esper scaring them away, that leaves Spring free to get them bunched up in the Vanguard's edge, and here he can dance, and boy does he dance here from onto Neil, and the double kill also goes to Conte since he's left, basically left to attack freely. He barely has enough damage here, and he gets another kill onto Dre, and now Seth alone can't really do much.
So with a 4-man Vanguard's edge, lockdown plus the 3-man stun, looks like that was a wrap-up for Veritas Arcus in the mid-lane clash, as the kill score is now 9 to 10. Finally, for VA, they did manage to take their first turn for themselves, but in the end, we're going to be seeing, this Kaiser. Normally, I would think that Quinsu, then Nasher's Tooth was the path here with 2 daggers, but we're seeing a Zeal being picked up by Comte
here with 2 more daggers even, so just a lot of attack speed, possibly building into another crit item here. Phantom Dancer could be nice if he's getting chased down.
So normally we would see the Lasher's Tooth most of the time, but of course PD is also great if you want to move around more.
Just Runan's more standard here for Kaisa. Just being able to get the caustic wounds on everyone in the fight. Since FIT wants to move as a unit, they will also be attacked as a unit, but here comes the...
impaling that Morgana. That's not going to help you out, Ventus. As they just pick it up. Glory has been popped. Springs the target. Knockup does not connect, but here comes the Edge to slow them down. Prison's coming in, but a bit too late. Sparrow was late to the party, and now he's getting slowed under tower. Shooting Spire was there. Here comes Scott. Can he do something here? They're trying to take down Sparrow. Getting the bind, getting the death touch, getting the poke there. Vision of the Empire does not connect to Sparrow as he will back off without any casualties for now, but Spring was chalked down before.
And another turret under their belt, 4 turrets to 1 on the side of DLSU, and this is just great for map control, for just in general having a lot more gold than FIT. And I love how FIT is so decisive when they make these pickoffs. They make sure DLSU cannot respond as a full unit, because looking at the kill distribution, Conte and Spring, even if they have a lot of gold, they haven't reached the peak of their power yet in terms of being carries and hyper carries rather. So here, if they can get a good fight where DLSU is not a full 5, FIT has such a huge advantage even with their more uneven gold distribution.
It looks like we're seeing Spring delaying his Titanic Hydra with a QSS pickup there because he's scared with the Impale coming from the Skarner. The Baron is live and Compton's pretty feds. 4-0-3. They're trying to take some control in the pit here.
They could go for a bait. They have a lot of control wards around the area.
Mind games happening here, guys.
It's so dangerous to try and go into these unwarded areas against Ventus and Esper. One wrong move, as you said earlier, and everything could fall apart because of a snare or a glacial prison.
Just like a relationship.
But
Isang mali lang kailangan para mag-break kayo eh.
But here with FIT, it seems like they've taken back control over that area. They're going to try and get this Ocean Break as well, which put them at 2 stacks. And that is going to be big. They'll be able to dance a lot longer around Baron, around objectives. When they want to siege, is going to be much more long-lasting.
Okay, so 3 Drake stack, 4 item aroused, and Spring is now pushing the top wave, possibly trying to get some priority there so that they can try and go for
could be the target of FIT. They're going towards him. If he retreats, then they'll just go straight for the Baron.
Okay.
At least get some vision here.
Vision being denied by FIT.
Oh, now FIT wants to set up the trap, and now Esperer and Ventus are the ones in a dangerous situation. They don't want to be the ones who get the jump on him because FIT, that's what FIT wants.
Vision of the Empire, and on the hunt, look at the speed boost, but there is the Black Shield to delay the Skarner with the Impale. Denied by DLSU with the engage. Great Black Shield coming from the Morgana.
Definitely needed to disengage there because they need Conte. That's a lot of their damage. They might fight around here.
They're grouped up in the pit, and the Vanguard's Edge lands the 2 tank members. Here comes Big and Large. 3 members stuck to the wall, and they're clumped up while Rindo's free hitting from the side. You see, pumps the stasis is not pumping that Dark Ascension, but in the end, a double kill goes to Rindo with 2-3 members gone from the clash. FIT Itamer is now looking at the Baron Ball.
Even though there's so much DLS you can do, that 3-man Gnarl, there's also them being caught in the arena of the Vanguard's Edge in that small space. But because of that, it's an all-out brawl with so many people clumped up together. That actually favors FIT more, because that means the Boomerang Blade, the Bouncing Blade, the Demonic Ascension, all of these AoE spells that FIT has can hit everyone in DLSU. And here they can't get the full value from Ventus because he gets chunked down so hard. But here, even with his 3-man, Rindo is still dealing lots of damage. Seth is still tanking so much damage while dealing a lot in return. And Seth denies the kill on him too, so DLSU has no choice but to back off, but at that point it's too late and they get almost wiped out.
And know that Dark Ascension was a great tool in that fight. I mean, Dark Ascension, yeah, because they were all clumped up there, so easy peasy there. And Demonic Ascension, so medyo edgy teen days, angsty age are over because you're not dark, you're now demonic.
Is this downright hellish? But of course, yeah, and that's why FIT. Oh man, she's still out there, is really happy.
All right.
His predictions are coming true for today's matches. As for FIT, they're in a really good position here. Right now, Seth and Rindo, they deal lots of damage. DLSU, they have to be very careful because if they clump up like that into choke point, that's just the dream for these AoE spells that FIT has.
Okay, so I think for Veritas Arcus, with that punish that happened in the blue side, I mean, they had it going. They had the rather the Mega Gnar form, narring them to the wall, 3-member stun. Yeah, the Vanguard's Edge was there to zone him out. But in the end, the Swain dealt so much damage. And that clash,
here we go.
Dark Binding to lock down the Skarner, cannot fully use the Predator, so he will not catch any members from DLSU versus Arcus. Pops the stages to buy some time, denies the prison engage. Flash in, Impale, does get glanced by Spring.
With their Baron buff, even if they do get denied with their hard engage from FIT.
Okay, 2-lane pressure happening for FIT.
Yeah. DLSU, they're still losing turrets, even if FIT is not getting the mode down that they want.
Karna was started by Zed. The banner minions doing the works here. Demonic Ascension was popped by Zed. They did burn a spell. 2-man knockup happening. Aiming for Ventus. He gets chewed up by our frame. Vanguard's Edge was used, but no members of DLSU will respond. The inhibitor is taken down here, and the last one in the top lane, yes, the second one will be taken down as the Baron empowered minions are now flooding to the base. It is crunch time for Virtus Arcus.
They really want to get away from this, but they're dealing so much damage.
Asparagus down to the air. Spring trying to get some kills and resets from the dash. Can't do anything here. Our Spring is just too tanky with a 2-man knockup. 3-man silence. They can't do anything. Karna going for the Mega Gnar form, choking back 3 members towards the Nexus. But in the end, for FIT, item rounds. They don't care. They were going for the Nexus.
Man, congratulations to FIT. DLSU is one of the perceived of LVL, and FIT taking out DLSU, that's going to be a good win in their record here. That puts them pretty much already a lot more above than the others that are also had previously 4 wins, such as Adamson. And so that's actually pretty good.
That's why we were picking FIT Itameras as one of the improved players and our improved teams entering the 2018 LVL Spring Term. They were picked to be the most improved teams coming from the summer. Now it's a new game plus for them, as now in the Spring Term, B has beaten the Virtus Arcus, pegged as one of the best teams entering the new team, entering new teams in the LVL Spring Term. So I think that concludes it for now, guys, into our match 7. So for those who are still tuning in and sticking around and watching the games, thank you so much for supporting the 2018 LVL Spring Term. We'll go into a short break here because next match will be our last match as DLSU.
It's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be exciting. DLSU will face against UST, and UST pegged as the kings of the LVL after the short break. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Atlas. Signing off for now. See you when I see you.
They can really push DLSU in, have that priority, have control over that bot lane.
Ooh, look at the mobility. Look at the disgusting mobility. Oh my god! First blood going on to the Aurelia with a trade of there. Looks like he will not get a steal. That's going to take away the red buff. Here it comes. Dark Ascension, and let's see the damage. Oh yeah, Rindo gets a kill. Aspire Fighters over that wall, and that's going to be DLSU going in hard with Spring leading the charge and taking down for the lockdown with the resets happening for the Aurelia. Going in here, 2-man Artisan, and the Vanguard stage, 4 members locked out by Spring, getting the resets there. One more hit will come that takes him out. Spring now going on to the Karma, but Comte will be the one to pick that up, and Trey will be his next target. Pumps the passive and flashing onto the tower. That gives him that triple kill.
That is going to be huge wave in the mid lane for
Oh, impaling that Morgana. That's not going to help you out, Ventus. As they just pick it up. Glorious been popped. Springs the target. Knockoff does not connect, but here comes the Edge to slow them down. Prison's coming in, but a bit too late. Aspera was late to the party, and now it's slowed under tower. Shooting Spire was there. Here comes Note. Can he do something here? They're trying to take out Aspera. Getting the bind, getting the death touch, getting the poke there. Vision of the Empire does not connect to Aspera as he will back off. Without any casualties for now,
Black Shield
to delay the Skarner with the Impale. Denied by DLSU with the engage. Great Black Shield coming from the Morgana.
Definitely needed to disengage there because they need Comte. That's a lot of their damage. They might fight around here.
They're grouped up in the pit, and the Vanguard's Edge lands the 2 tank members. Here comes Big and Large. 3 members stuck to the wall, and they're clumped up while Rindo's free hitting from the side. You see, pumps the stasis is not pumping that Dark Ascension. But in the end, a double kill goes to Rindo with 2-3 members gone from the Ascension. Was popped by Zed. They did burn a spell. 2-man knockup happening. Aiming for Ventus. He gets chewed up by our frame. Vanguard's Edge was used, but no members of DLSU will respond. The inhibitor is taken down here, and the last one in the top lane, yes, the second one will be taken down as the Baron empowered minions are now flooding to the base. It is crunch time for Virtus Arcus.
They really want to get away from this, but they're dealing so much damage.
Asparagus down to the air. Spring trying to get some kills and reset from the dash. Can't do anything here. Spring is just too tanky with a 2-man knock-up. 3-man silence. They can't do anything. Karna going for the Mega Narc farm. Looking back 3 members towards the Nexus. But in the end for FIT, item rounds. They don't care. They were going for the Nexus.
Man, congratulations